Alright, good day and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you about the query function. The query function gives you the flexibility of being able to query data sets, especially when it has to do with large data sets. It gives you the flexibility of being able to create a subset of that data set and of course analyze them separately. If you are already familiar with SQL, that is structural query language, this query function gives you the flexibility of being able to apply SQL directly on your worksheet. So now we're going to be making use of these data sets. These are data sets on movies. So you can see their name, popularity, rating, IMDb, ID, cast, homepage, director, tagline, keywords, runtime. We have the genres, and we have the production companies, just like that. The vote count, release year, budgets, of course the revenue. This data set is gotten from cargo.com. As you can see, this workbook have two sheets that have been named here. The first one is named source data and the other one is query. So in order to give us space to be able to effectively query these data sets, I want to do the querying on the next sheet. You can see the data set contains columns from A all the way to U. So we are going to proceed. And the first thing I'm going to do now is, from these 19 columns, I want to pick a few of the columns and display them in the other sheets. Let's say I want to pick just the IMDb, popularity, budget, and revenue. So these columns are on B to E. So now I'm going to write the query. I'm going to start by inputting the name of the function, which is query. Then I'll write the data source. I'm going to take the data from this worksheet that I have named source data. So I'm going to enter the name source data. Then I'm going to say AU. That's the range within that source data. So I'll say comma, and then I will impute the columns I want. I say select. Let's first of all select just one column, which is column B. So you come here, you see that column B is the one carrying IMDb number. So it has been selected. So when you choose just one column, it is showing me just one column. So now I want to choose more than one column. Let's say I want to pick the original title, then let's say the year. Okay, let's say the votes average and release year. Vote average and release year are on arrow and S. So say comma arrow S. So it's going to include those columns as well. So for those that are familiar with SQL before now, you understand that in SQL dialect of other applications, we make use of the name of the headers directly, but right now I'm making use of the alphabets of the header. Alright, so please kindly understand this. So this is it on that. So this is it on that. You can write a query to pick just 3 of this. So now the next query we're going to write now will be to specify the films that were released. So right now I want to write a query to select just the films that were released in 2011. How do I do that? I want to have all of this, but just for films released in 2011. So that will bring us to adding another statement, which is where. So you see where S. Mind you, S is where you have the release year. So where S is equal to 2011. So 2011. So as you can see, it will give us just the films released in 2011. Let's change the year to, let's say, 2013. Oh, we don't have any film released 2013 on this data set, so let's say 2012. So these are films released in 2012, just like that. So what about we want to see films released between 2011 to, let's say, 2014. 2011, so films are released in 2011, between 2011 to 2014. So how we're going to do that? We're going to say where S is greater than or equals to 2012. Mind, if we say greater than or equals to, this is telling you from 2012 upward. So this very one I wrote now, it's going to take us from 2012 to 2015. Mind you, the highest we have there is 2015. So we screwed that. You can see that we're having 2012 at the bottom. But what we want to do, we want from 2011. So greater than or equals to 2011. And S also less than or equals to 2014. Let's run this query and see. So these are queries supposed to give us just films that are released from 2011 to 2012. So the next code I'm going to write now, I want to write a query that will count the number of films released in 2014. Let's write a query to count the number of films released in 2014. I want to write it separately here. So I'm going to say query source data AU. I'm going to say select counts S. I'm going to count S where S is equal to 2011. So that's it. Says this are the number of films released in 2011. Let's change the year to 2000 and okay. So now notice something. We're counting for just a single year. What if we want each of the year where films were released listed out with the corresponding counts of number of movies that were released for those years? How do we go about that? Of course, we'll come here, okay, and of course we select. We're going to remove this here statement. Okay, select. Then we're going to have a group by statement. A group by. We're going to group by that same. So as we see now, so it is now giving us each of the year and the respective number of films released in each of the year. What you are seeing here is SQL. If you want to learn more about SQL, there are resources online, free resources you can go through. Okay, so this very video is not meant to explain SQL to you. Okay, but a good knowledge of SQL will go a long way to help you navigate data analysis. Alright, so one more thing I want to do now is to select films, to select only the films that are action movie. Now let's go back to the data source. Let me explain something to you. Now what you need to understand is that some films can also be classified under different genres. So if I just go and say where N is equals to action, it is only going to pick for me the films that are classified under action only. It will not pick the ones where we have them classified both under action and other genres. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. For instance, if I come here and say equals to, let's write the query data, query source data I will say select F and here N is equal to action. Now, because this action is a test, we are going to put it in single quotes. Let's say enter. Now it's going to pick the movie titles for only where you have action as a genre. However, we have other ones. However, we have other films that were classified both under action as well as other genres. So how do we now write it in such a way to also pick those ones too? We are going to come here. In order to do that, we're going to come here and say contains. Instead of equal to, we'll say contains. So now it's going to pick both those one and the other ones as well. So that if we now want to say, okay, count, and the other ones as well. So I just want to do one more. I want to do one more query, and then we'll call it a day for this video. So if I set it source data, say source data AU I want to count the films. I want to count the number of films whose vote average is from 7 and above. I think 7 and above is from 7 and above. 7 and above is a high rated film. So I just want to, at a glance, look at the number of high rated movies we have in this data set. So if I go there and say count, okay, it's an arrow, count arrow, here arrow is greater than or equal to, we've used the greater than or equal to before, right before now, so I want to believe we don't have issues with it. So if we count that, it is giving us 666 of them, 666 films that are rated from 7 and above. Let's see 8 and above. We have 51 movies rated 8 and above. Let's see 9 and above. We have just one movie rated 9 and above here. Rated 9 and above. Wow. Among 4,000 something movies, we have just one rated 9 and above. Let's see what that film is. Let's see which film is that. Select the name. Okay, the name is F. So let's select arrow. I want to see which film is that. Sorry, not arrow, it's supposed to be F. Select F. Okay. The name of the film is The Story of Film and Odyssey. Wow, that's lovely. So we are going to stop here right now. I want to believe you fully understand how we are able to navigate the use of the query function. In order to get you started, I'm going to drop a link to this source data in the description below so that on your own you can go through it and try your hands on the queries we've written. Thank you very much for joining me on this video. If you follow me to this stage, it means you enjoy the video. Kindly subscribe, like, and drop a comment. If you have a question, drop a comment. I will answer you.